Welcome to this mindfulness practice of exploring the clouds in the big blue sky. One of the greatest difficulties of the mind is that we cling on to thoughts and feelings and emotional states. We become identified. And in this practice, we learn how to step back, not to stop thoughts, but just to step back from them and recognize the openness of awareness, which is the big blue sky. There will always be clouds coming up out of nowhere and passing, just like thoughts, feelings, and sensations. But there is always also this backdrop, this openness, this big blue sky, and no matter how big the clouds are, no matter how scary they can never overcome or overwhelm the awareness of the big blue sky. So let's get started here in this practice. Practice for around 10 minutes here today. Firstly, just giving yourself a few moments to arrive. Finding a comfortable meditation posture. No need to worry too much about this, but try to see if you can find balance. A posture that actually allows your body to be both alert and relaxed. And I like to begin my meditations by checking in with the body. Noticing the feeling of sitting. The sensation of my butt beneath me on the chair. Feet, legs, hands, back, ribs, torso, neck, head. I also find it helpful to notice the sounds in my environment. The soundscape. Noticing the ocean of sound that is all around us. There's so much, even in quiet spaces. And in loud spaces are no obstacle to meditation. Sound is just more clouds arising out of nowhere and passing away. Noticing the body, noticing the sounds. And then we'll gently turn our awareness, our attention towards the breath. Just your natural breath. There's no need to breathe in any particular way or to change your breath at all. Just notice that the breath is already here. I find it helpful to notice the breath, especially in the belly. The physical movement of the breaths rising and falling. And if you'd like, as I'm doing here, you can put your hand on the belly as it rises and falls, rises and falls. soon the mind will wander off to thoughts, feelings, memories. That's perfectly okay. It's what minds do. They wander. We don't have to take that too seriously. We can just recognize that the mind has wandered off and bring our attention back to the breath, which always brings us back to this moment. The breath is our anchor. The breath always brings us back to this moment. You may notice the breath in the nose, the mouth, the sensations of warmth on the inhalation, warmth on the exhalation, or perhaps of coolness. And again, you'll find that your mind has wandered off. That's perfectly okay. It really is. This is actually the opportunity to practice mindfulness. It's when we find ourselves distracted. Mindfulness is paying attention on purpose to the present moment without judging or reacting. So as soon as you notice that your mind has wandered off into thoughts, feelings, maybe even questions of, am I doing this right? That's okay. That's welcome. We just bring the attention back to the breath, gently, without drama, without judgment. We do this over and over again. And so you may notice that all these distractions that we get caught up in, thoughts, planning, agendas, feelings, fears, images, memories, these are all like clouds. They show up out of nowhere. And also like clouds, if we allow them, they pass away all on their own. If we try to run away from the storm clouds, oftentimes what we end up doing is we just end up running in the same exact direction of the storm and prolonging our difficulty. So in mindfulness, we're recognizing the storm clouds, we're recognizing the thoughts that come up out of nowhere. We're neither pushing them away, nor are we grabbing onto them. We're noticing the thought, and then gently but firmly coming back to this breath. And so here in our analogy of the clouds in the sky, thoughts, feelings, sensations, sounds, emotions, they really are just like more clouds passing through the great blue sky. And so if you'd like, you can stay with the breath here and continue just noticing the passing clouds. But there's another aspect of the mind. And that is our open awareness, the context within which all thoughts, all clouds emerge. And this is the part of the mind that's like the big blue sky. Open, vast, gentle, spacious. And so there's an aspect of the mind, our open awareness, which is vast like the big blue sky. And in its natural state, it doesn't push away clouds, it doesn't push away thoughts, it doesn't push away feelings. It allows everything to be within it. Our desire to push away thoughts, to push away feelings, are thoughts that we shouldn't feel like this. We shouldn't have these thoughts. Those are just more clouds pushing other clouds away. And so we can notice these clouds and then come back to the breath. Or we can rest into the openness of the big blue sky. The open awareness in which all things are merging. The sky has nothing to do, nowhere to go. The sky, like you, like your awareness, is vast and has space for everything beneath it. And of course, as you're resting with the big blue sky, you may notice yourself caught up in thoughts. That's okay. Those are just more clouds. We come back to the breath, which brings us to this moment. We rest back into the open expansiveness of the big blue sky. And we do this over and over again, so that in moments of our lives when we begin identifying with the thoughts and feelings, when we get caught up believing we are the storm clouds, we have the practice to step back, to recognize the open nature of the mind, to recognize we are not the thoughts and feelings. We are the sky. We are the space in which all these thoughts and feelings emerge. And so by practicing here today this state of mindfulness, and by practicing this on a regular basis, we cultivate the trait of mindfulness. And so you can stay here as long as you'd like, basking, marinating in this wide open, non-judgmental awareness. And whenever you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes, noticing how you feel, and setting an intention to carry this attitude of non-judgment and non-reactivity with you throughout your day. Take good care. Thanks for joining me today.